Hi, I'm Allie with the Potomac Bead Company, and I'm going to show you how to do a fast peyote stitch. This stitch does 2 rows at once. It's a good idea to get started with your regular peyote and just do 1 bead at a time to start with, and do 1 or 2 rows of that. I'm using 6/0 seed beads, and I'm using 0.008 Wildfire thread. This orange bead here is my stop bead, so when you're looking at it, that orange bead is not going to actually be part of the bracelet. It's just showing where my start is and keeping my beads from falling off. So I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm on my 5th row of peyote. What I'm doing is 4 rows wide. So normally you would just add 1 bead, sew through 1, add 1 bead, sew through 1. What I'm going to be doing is, instead of adding 2 beads, I'm going to be using 4. So I'm doing 2 rows at once. I put my beads on, and then what I'm going to do is go back through the last bead, up through the 2nd bead that's on my row, down through that next bead on the row then. So I'm still going every other bead, and it's kind of a zigzag, pulling that tight, and then coming up through my last bead. And pulling my thread tight. And there I just did 2 rows at once. I'm going to do it one more time for you. So I put 4 beads on my needle. Drop those 4 beads down into place where they're going to go. And I'm going to sew from the bottom to the top now. And so these beads are sitting up here. So I'm going to sew through that first one there. Bring my needle out, and that's going to round it out so that the beads are laying in place, and sew through every other. So I didn't sew through this last bead. I sewed through this one here. I'm going to sew through bead 2 in line again. Pull that tight, and then I'm also going to sew through the other one sticking up here on the row behind. And then I'm going to sew through here. I'm letting my thread up a little bit just so you can see where it is before I pull tight. So my thread has gone through the last bead in the row before, the 2nd bead, the next bead in the row before, and the 4th bead. I pull tight, and then I have those 2 rows completed at once. That's how you do a fast peyote, doing 2 rows at a time.